Hi everybody, so this quick video is going to be the ultimate guide, although someone's probably going to do one better, but the ultimate guide to installing Facebook pixels into your Shopify store using Google Tag Manager. And this will include the retargeting and product information that is needed to go over to Facebook catalog so that you can do retarget ads on the back of that. I've got a spelling mistake here, so I'm just going to go and correct that. So there's a couple of assumptions here. The first one is that you're using the Flexify app to automatically transfer your catalog over into Facebook and that you have that installed. This solution will work if you don't have that. Maybe you're doing a manual upload of a CSV or something, I don't know. But it will work, but you will need to tailor it accordingly, and I'll show you how to do that in a little while. We're assuming that you're not passing variants over to the catalog, so just the product ID. But if you want to pass variants, I can show you how to do that as well. And in this solution, we are going to correctly implement the add to cart event. So we only fire the Facebook pixel when we click on the add to cart button. So normally add to carts is triggered by visiting the cart page. That's not an add to cart. You can go there as many times as you want to look at that. We're only going to do it when we actually add the product to cart, and that's the trigger. So the first thing you will need, and if you look on the comments to this video in the Shopify Guy YouTube channel, you'll see some links to where you can download the files that you need. So you don't need to worry about copying all this stuff from the screen. You can just go to the link and you can download the file, install that right into your store. So we need to edit our theme, and we're going to go into our theme liquid, and just below the header section in the body, if I can find it, gone past it, we need to put a little piece of code. So the first line of the body section. So here we go, here it is. So we are going to include Google-tag. That's the only line of code that you need to put into your theme. So if you're going to change themes or hack your store around or whatever you want to do, you're not going to break anything. So you can easily uninstall it just by removing that single line of code. Now we're going to go over to our theme snippets, and we are going to add a new snippet, and we're going to call that snippet Google-tag. So basically this code in your theme will call the snippet, and in the snippet is where our code sits. So the first piece of code you're going to need to put in here is go over to the link that I provided, download that code, and cut and paste that code into your Google tag snippet, save the snippet. So I designed the code to be completely tailorable, and you can put in what you like. So there's some notes here to have a quick read at. And down here is where you enter your own details. Do not copy these details because they're mine. Put your own details in here. And in the code snippets I provided, it says enter your details here, not these. So the first thing you need to put into this field is your Facebook pixel ID, and you can go over to Facebook and you can get that. In this field here, we are going to put our Google Tag Manager ID, and you can go over to Google Tag Manager and you can get that. Here's where it gets slightly interesting and tailorable. So if you're using the Flexify feed to create your catalog, and that's a free app, it's called the Flexify Facebook catalog feed, they prefix it by Shopify _. So I'm going to assume that you are using that and leave the default in here. And this is the effect it has. If you put no prefix, you'll just get the no prefix and no variant number, you'll just get the product ID. If you put a prefix and variant number, whatever prefix you enter in here, so you'll get the prefix and then the product ID. If you select this box to yes to use variants and no prefix, you'll get the product ID _ the variant ID. And if you want the whole lot, the prefix and the variant, you'll get Shopify underscore, or whatever you put in here, product ID underscore variant ID. So that needs to marry up with what is on your catalog on the Facebook side. That's all you need to do. You need to just fill these boxes in here, save it, you are done. Now what you will see on Chrome, if you have Chrome installed with the Pixel helper, obviously mine is completely installed. I'll show you the Google tag side of it in a minute. But what we're now seeing in Chrome, what Chrome is reporting, is the correct number of fires. So if I go over to the home page, we should have one fire, which is page view. If I look at a catalog, again, we've got one fire and page view. And if we go onto a product, what we have is two fires, and we have page view and view content. So they're firing correctly in the correct number of times. But if we look here at the details, what we also have is the product ID being passed, and that is based on the settings that you put into the snippet on the Shopify side. So we've got Shopify underscore and product ID in my case, and a content type of product. So all of a sudden we now have remarketing information passing that we didn't have before. So going over to Google Tag Manager, how do we do that? Well, the first thing we need to do is we need to set a few variables up that we're passing over from Shopify, and we're passing those in the data layer, so we need to set those up. Also, you need to check this box that says click classes, and that enables us to track the add to cart events. Without that, it will not work. So this is really important to make sure we have this button checked. Then you need to create three variables. So we're going to create one called GTM underscore FID. So you need to make sure you give it that name. We're going to select type of data layer variable. The data layer variable name is GTM underscore Facebook underscore ID. And we'll go ahead and save that. The next variable we need to install is GTM PID, which is the product ID. So we're going to call it GTM underscore PID. It's a data layer variable. Data layer variable name GTM underscore product underscore ID. That has to marry up exactly with what's in Shopify, or the information won't be passed over from Shopify. And the final variable that we want is going to be called GTM underscore product. So we'll create the variable name of GTM underscore product. Again, it's a data layer variable, and the data layer variable name is GTM underscore product underscore page. So we'll create our first tag, and you can call it what you like. I've just called it Facebook Custom Audience Pixel. So create that tag. The tag type is a custom HTML tag, and then you are going to paste the other set of information that you've downloaded from the store, and there is from my YouTube page, and there is a link in the comments of where to download this. So you just go ahead and you download it, you paste it right in there, and you are done. You want to fire it on all pages, and one thing you do want to set when you create it is go down to advanced settings and set the tag firing priority to 9. That means this tag will fire quicker than other tags. That's all that does, just means it fires first. So paste that into there, you don't need to change anything. Set it to fire on all pages and give it a tag firing priority of 9. And if you do that, you will find that if you go to the home page of your store, you'll see that tag firing now. There's your page view tag, that's what we've just created. So also if we go to collections, we will find that that tag is firing on collections. Page view is firing on collections. So that's good to go. The next thing we need to do is we need to create a trigger for the product page. So we want to fire a different pixel when people look at the product. We want to fire the page view as well as the view content. I'm getting confused now. Which one is it? well, we'll find that out in a minute. So we need to create a trigger. So this trigger is going to be called product page. It's a custom event. The event name that you fire is called FB loaded, and you need to get the case right here. Lowercase f, lowercase b, uppercase L, loaded. So FB loaded is the event name that this fires on. And the page URL contains product. So if it's a product page, it'll fire this event. So related to that, we're going to create a tag to fire on the product page. And this one is called FB Product. Doesn't really matter what you call it. It's a custom HTML tag. And here is the code that you need to put into that. So take a good long look at that. What I'll do as well is I'll save that code, and I'll put that code as a download link on my page. So it can be a bit fiddly copying it. But there you go. So this is where it superimposes the product ID, and it gets that over from Shopify. And you want to fire this event, fire this tag on the event you've just created called product page. So when somebody looks at the product page, and you can find it by clicking on more, you'll see the events you've created, select product page. So when someone clicks on product page, it now fires this event as well. And if you save that, and you publish those rules, we'll go back to Chrome again, so I'll look at a product page. And now I have two pixels firing. I have page view and view content. And the view content correctly shows the additional information that needs to pass to the catalog. So you've got the product ID, and if you set the variants, it will show Shopify underscore product underscore variant ID. Or if you turn off the prefix, it will just show product ID or product ID underscore variant ID. So it's completely tailorable to what you need by changing the settings in the snippet that I posted in Shopify. So now we've got our pixel firing on our store, and also we got it firing on the product page. Now, what we want to do is to fire a third pixel on add to cart. I just want to make sure I've got Chrome open. I do. So normally people fire pixels on add to cart by detecting the cart page. And anyone can go to the cart page any number of times, and it will trigger as an add to cart event and report wrongly. What you want it to do is to only trigger when someone clicks this, and only trigger for this product. So unfortunately, you need to get a little bit technical here, and you need Chrome to do this. So you need to right click on the cart button and inspect it. And you will see here the code for the add to cart button. Now what we're looking for is where it says class action underscore button add to cart. That's what we're looking for. Unfortunately, different themes will have different code here, which is why I've not been able to hard code that for you. But this is what we're looking for. Yours might say something different. It'll say something similar, it'll look similar, but the bit that we're looking for is the class part, and it's in between these two inverted commas. So you need to copy that piece of information there, whatever's in your store, copy that. We're then going to go back into Google Tag Manager, and we're going to create a trigger for add to cart. So the trigger type we're going to select this time is a click. So we're monitoring our store for somebody clicks on that button. Then you want to select click classes equals and paste in here what you took from that button. So action underscore button add to cart. Your code may say something different. My theme is responsive by out of the sandbox, and that's what it is for that theme. Your theme may or probably will say something different to that. So just make sure you get the right thing, and you can find out what it is by inspecting the button using Chrome. So the event is click, targets all elements, click classes equals whatever is on your button, save it. Then we create a tag for add to cart. And this is the code that you need to put in here. So basically it's changed to add to cart. It's the same piece of code, but it's just changed to add to cart. And again, I will put that on my store for you to download. you're done. So now, when you go to your store and you add to cart, let's go and find a product and we'll try and add it. What you will see if you're looking at the face, sorry, I should do that in Chrome. That would be a little bit easier to understand if I do it in Chrome. So just close this. So the custom the Facebook Pixel helper here is displaying 2 pixels. If I click on Add to Cart, it's got a little confused there, which it does sometimes. But if I click it again, well, we're not showing an add to cart event. Why is that? Well, that's absolutely correct, because add to cart is not a page, it's a button. So you will not be able to view the trigger event that happens on that button, because the Pixel helper here is only showing us the page. So the cart page is not showing add to cart as an event, because it isn't. It's just the page. And the previous page that we looked at, again, won't have that pixel on it, because you haven't done anything yet. You haven't clicked the add to cart button, so it will not display that pixel. So it is working, but the Pixel helper will not display it. And the way to prove that it's working is go back into your Facebook, look at the pixel, and look at the events that have happened to that pixel, and you should still see the add to cart event firing after you have installed all this code. So that's the way to check that it is working. You know, if you've got add to cart events, it's working. So I'm going to close Chrome down a second and go back over to my Shopify store. And the last piece of the jigsaw that is missing is checkouts. Now, we are not going to record checkouts using Google Tag Manager. We are going to modify our checkout script accordingly to pass additional information. Just because it's easier, it's real easy to do that. So we're going to go to the additional content and scripts, and we need to add in extra information for product here. So we've got the usual stuff, value, subtotal, price, money without currency. This is what everybody will have. But again, I'll post this so you can put it into your own store. I'll add it as a downloadable link. But you need to add a little loop in here that passes the content IDs and the product IDs over to the catalog. This says line item product ID. If you are using variants, you will need to change this to line item variant ID. Okay, and the reason there's a little loop in here is because if somebody's bought 2, 3, or 4 products, you want to pass all of those 4 products over to Facebook, so it knows that 4 products have been bought in that cart, not just 1. So you have a little loop that passes all of the products in the cart. Again, I'll post that data that you need in the comments on the bottom here, so you can put that straight into your store. And that is it. You're good to go, and hopefully you should get better reporting, more accurate reporting, and it's a lot easier to mess your store around with that. If you need to add other pixels like ad roll into Google Tag Manager, it's easy, they're scripted. You just go ahead and basically click the button and it adds them in there. So adding further pixels or additional pixels to your store becomes a breeze. So it's quite a complicated one, but quite simple. I hope that was some use to in explaining this minefield.